your loveliness and patience with me not having posted a few videos in the last couple of days because I had a beautiful family holiday, which I loved a bit, and it was so awesome. But I had to rush back to the YouTube channel because there's so much that I want to talk to you about and so much that I have prepared for you guys that I literally cannot wait. And today's topic is a very simple one, which is keep it simple. So if you're watching this either live or on a replay, comment below and say keep it simple, because that is so important. And I have been having beautiful conversations with our students over the last couple of days, even when I was on holiday. And it's always so sweet because a lot of entrepreneurs, whether you are, starting or whether you are in a phase where you're just like looking to grow things, a lot of people overcomplicate things a lot of the time. And as much as there is a world and a wealth of technology and possibilities, it doesn't mean that you have to do everything right at the beginning. At the beginning, you just have to focus on what matters. And what matters as an entrepreneur is that you are making money and that you are having something that truly makes an impact in the world. So much so that people want to part with their money, give it to you, and have you help them find a solution for whatever it is that they need a solution for. So keeping it simple is so important. To give you an example, again, is there are so many students that sometimes think like, oh my goodness, AI, is there so many possible AI things and ChatGPT and whatever. Like I was just confessing to one of my students saying that, yeah, I understand that you are overwhelmed with AI because so am I. Like there's so much out there. I don't even know a percentage of it. And frankly speaking, I hardly use AI. Like I don't want to say I don't use it, because I've maybe used it like a few times, or I had maybe like 3 ChatGPT prompts that I've done over the last however many years. And I use some apps where there's a little bit of AI in it as well. But apart from that, I make all my content myself. I do my stuff myself. And some people may think that's not wise, or that's, you're missing out or whatever. Probably am missing out in a lot of ways, but at the same time, I like to keep things simple. And one of the biggest things that I always hear from people that buy from us and that are part of our community and part of our programs and that are being supported in their growth for a lifetime is that they love the fact that we are authentic and that people can literally see who we are, what we do, and that the voice that we express in all of our machinery is actually our voice and what we do. So yeah, I'm probably missing out on some of the AI stuff, but at the same time, like focus on what you have to focus on and do what you gotta do to be able to, number one, look after your family, number two, make that impact. So if you're listening to this and you are either at a stage where you are have never made 7 figures before, or you have made several 7 figures and I want to get to the 8 figures, I am very willing to say that probably you have nowhere to be. You don't need to be seen anywhere near AI. You just need to make sure that you have a clear roadmap to make sales and to put yourself out there and to solve problems for people. And that's what I, in a nutshell, want to talk about today. So for those of you that have been watching me for a longer time, you know that we help people to either launch or scale their businesses. And it is all based on how people can create freedom for themselves, but doing it in a way where you're actually helping people. And you're not just making a quick buck, but you're doing something that makes impact, that solves problems, and really, just makes the world a better place, basically. Hello, thank you so much for commenting. Love to have you guys here. And by the way, if you're new, please comment. No, not comment. Well, you can comment that you're new, but please subscribe to the channel and hit the little belly thing. But yeah, so basically we also run events, and there's an upcoming event that we have. Actually, there's a link in the description, which is called Project 1 Million in 1 Year. And on that event, again, we're going to help so many people break free and allow them to either prepare themselves for making their first million or their next million and do it considerably faster than ever before. Or, and I just actually had an amazing person reach out to me. I want to give a shout out to Melinda. I don't know if she will be watching this video or not. And she's like, I'm not sure if I want to go into business yet or not. And I was like, you should still come to the event, because as much as this is an event that will tremendously help you in business, it just helps people break free from what is holding you back to really excel in life. And that could be on so many different levels. We have so many people that come to our event and then are a heck of a lot more confident afterwards, or have a lot more clarity into what they are capable of, or they really clearly identify what are those things ever since they were a little kid that have been holding them back, whether that is limiting beliefs or just events or things that happened in their lives that made them think that they weren't good enough or they weren't able to do certain things, whereas actually they are very able. So whatever it is that you want in your life, if you just want to make sure that your life gets better, then this is the event for you. But in a nutshell, what I want to explain to you guys here is that, again, keeping things simple in life and in business is super, super important. So if you are that entrepreneur, the business owner who wants to make more sales, there's, in essence, 6 steps to it. Very simple. First step is that you want to make sure that you are visible so that people can actually see that you are there, because, you know, in essence, what business is that you are helping people solve their problems through a variety of different ways. Could be with your products, could be with your services, could be with a program that you have automated that can really make a difference to people, whatever that is. But you're helping people solve a problem and you're helping them get ahead in their lives, to move away from their pain and to move towards their desired outcome. And so if they have a problem and they have no clue how you can actually go and help them, let me just see here what happens if things go down. I don't know what you mean by that. Please clarify yourself. But if they don't know that you exist and they don't know that you actually have a way of solving that for them, you're obviously not going to make money. You're not going to do business. So visibility is absolutely key. And what I want to share, again, as in line with the title, is that you just keep it simple. You don't have to be that flashy content creator that has all of these captions running across the screen and all this, you know, stock footage and stuff like that. Just keep it simple. Just share your message and allow people to walk away with something that adds to their life. And if you do that, either by means of making a simple picture or a quote, or just a simple 30-second video where you give them a tip or a quote or whatever, that is already making a lot of impact. And why do I say this? Is because we've seen it with so many students as well. So many of our clients that started working with us did not have a business or were not making sales. But by implementing this very simple content strategy, which is typically less than a few minutes per day, it allows them to get over the overwhelm of, oh, I have to become a content creator. But at the same time, they're seeing how what they're actually sharing makes an impact on people, and it actually gets them business. So if you are watching this as an entrepreneur, then really keep this to heart. Keep things simple, because you don't have to have all of these flashy stuff, AI stuff and whatnot. Just make sure that your message is actually making a difference to people. And it could be as simple as you sharing a quote, a story, or just smiling and allowing the person to be a bit more happy after watching your video. Okay, so that's number one. Now from that, after you have been visible, and if you want to actually do business with people, you want to make sure that you don't just be that passive individual that is waiting for someone to reach out to you. You actually want to take that upper hand and take the initiative to reach out to people yourself. Now, I, for one, am not the type of person that shies away from cold messaging. I'm not like those people that say, oh, that stuff doesn't work, because it does work. The numbers don't lie. But at the same time, I rather have a relevant conversation with someone rather than to just say, hey, I'm a business owner and I can help you scale from 0 to 7 figures within X amount of time. Just like that, without even having said hello or having any form of, you know, normal human relationship and conversation. So the way how we train our students with regards to the outreach is that you want to make it relevant. Now, you will probably understand by this point is that if you are making your content and you're being visible, that you'll have some people either comment on your content, or they like it, or they watch your stories, or they follow you. And that's a relevant type of interaction that someone has with you that will put you in a position to have a relevant form of outreach to them. So that it's not going to be like, hey, you don't even know me and I'm just going to reach out to you and say, here's a link, I can do this and this and this for you, go buy, which is obviously really awkward and really not so personable. But if someone comments below, for instance, Ferna commented something below, I can say, hey, Ferna, thank you so much for commenting on my video. I really appreciate it. What is it that inspired you to comment on my video? For instance, something as simple as that. And that can then lead to a genuine conversation, really figuring out where the person is in their life, what they want to go into their life, and how you could potentially help them with that. So that's number one. Now, you obviously understand that if you reach out to people, it doesn't mean that they respond straight away, it doesn't mean that they have even seen it. So outreach is still something that you do and you very much control. But the third step, which is the conversations, really depends on when they are actually seeing you and commenting on you. But again, the more you are visible and the more you are putting out your outreach, the more likely more people will respond to you and the more conversations that you will have. So as much as this is something that is not within your control, the more you utilize and focus on the things that are within your control, the more conversations you will actually have. Now, after that, the next step is that you want to be in a conversation where you can actually present the solution. So this is called many different ways. Some people call it a discovery call, some people call it a demo, some people call it a sales call, whatever you want to call it. It's a call where you basically allow the person to see that they're better off with you than without you, and how you can make it very agreeable for them to exchange their money for the incredible wealth of awesomeness that you have that will be so much more valuable than the money that they have in their pocket. So that's basically a sales situation where you are able to showcase to the person, here's how I can help you. And you don't just want to say, hey, here's how I can help you, but you first obviously want to ask some questions to really figure out, like, what is it that is the most important thing for them? Where would they want to see themselves within the next however many months or years? And why is it important to do this right now? Why not, 3 months ago, or maybe next year? Like, why is it important to actually take this step right now, and then figure out what is the thing that you can do to make that better for them, and then actually offer them your solutions, which in our opinion, over the 9 years that we have been in business, we've done it in many different ways. We sometimes presented one solution, sometimes presented multiple solutions, but really from the last couple of years and working with some really awesome mentors, offering more options definitely has a lot of benefit over just going for that single option. Unless you are in a sales situation where you're doing platform closing, then my advice will be to offer one solution, not many more, because otherwise it will make it a little bit more questionable for a person to take action. But if you're in a one-to-one situation, definitely offer more than one solution, because then it is so much more surface-based and you can really figure out on what's the best for that client in particular. Now, that being said, the next step is then obviously to do the cha-ching, close the deals and make the sales so that you can actually pay for the things that you have to pay for, your rent, your responsibilities. You reinvest it into the business so that you can grow. But also, step number 6, make sure that you don't just deliver, but you also over deliver. Because if you do, you will not only see that you're doing something that is ultimately the right thing to do, you're helping people, but you'll also start seeing that you're going to get a lot more abundance from that. And for those of you that have never heard these stats, I don't know if you know, but in the biggest businesses, where it's like multi-million-dollar businesses or billion-dollar businesses, 85% of the money generated in that company is made from the return sales. So as much as there's always some people that say like, hey, you should get new leads, you should get new customers, which is very true, you should also not forget that second money is easier, and that you being able to truly nurture a good relationship with your clients, so actually solving their problems, not just promising it, but actually doing it, and then looking after them in such a phenomenal way is going to lead to more business, and it's going to allow you to get a heck of a lifetime value out of a particular customer. If you're looking to look into KPIs, it's going to be very, very wonderful, but also just it's the right thing to do. And the more you over deliver, the more you actually help that person. Do you think that that person might say, hey, friend, colleague, other person, go and work with this business because they're absolutely incredible? Yes. So not only will you turn amazing clients to multi-buyers, but you'll also actually have them become promoters, and you get referrals and all of these other things, which is just going to increase not just the impact that you are making, but also the reach that you're having, and therefore ultimately build this whole machinery and solidify it and allow you to replenish this whole machine so that you can fill your pipeline and really play the game like the big boys and the big girls do in business. So I hope that makes sense, but I also hope that as much as I'm talking really fast and perhaps are throwing some terms at you that you may or may not know, that it is still a very simple system. And I have at no point in this conversation talked about AI, talked about automation, talked about any of that high-tech stuff, even though that is very important if you want to scale. It is definitely not the most important thing when you're starting and when you just want to make sure that you focus on doing those things that move the needle, aka that bring money into your bank account. So keep it simple, guys. This is really, really, really important. And I want to finish off on this quote by I think Frank Kern. And he says, the main thing is to make sure, oh, sure, sorry, I'm messing this up. The main thing is to keep the main thing. That's it, let me say that again. So the main thing is to keep the main thing, which is keeping it simple and just focus on the main things that are at hand. And so a simple question that I want to give you guys to ask yourself whenever you are about to embark on a new adventurous journey to discover a new technology or to invest in a certificate that you feel like you need to, it's just simply asking yourself the question is, does this bring me closer to my goal? Does this allow me to pay for my bills? Does this allow me to get more of what I actually wanted with this endeavor? And if the answer directly and efficiently is no, then you probably don't want to do it. Focus on those things that really allow you to get ahead. And that does not mean that there's no time and space for, having fun with lots of other awesome things that are out there. Yes, it does not mean that. There is time and space for that. But as long as you keep the main thing, which is you need to make sure that you are monetizing, that you're growing, and that you're making it efficient and make your choices in business efficient. And so this message really is for those of you that really are ambitious to grow, to make more money, to serve more people, to allow the solution or the message that you have to tremendously impact a lot of individuals, among which you and your family, because of the abundance that it will bring to you. So keep it simple, guys. Don't overcomplicate it. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a like, to subscribe, and to obviously become a part of Project 1 Million in 1 year, because what I described in a quick nutshell of 17 minutes in Project 1 Million in 1 year, we take 6 days of around 2 to 3 hours per day, spread over 6 days, to really dive deep in that mentorship. And it's completely free of charge, so you really just want to be part of this. There are limited spaces though, so I really, really recommend you to click on the link in the description as soon as humanly possible so that you don't miss out. But other than that, I'm just very excited to be back and sharing lots of more tips with you guys. So if you have any questions or anything specifically that you would like me to cover, let me know in the chat box, and I look forward to make more content for you guys. So on this note, I'm gonna go. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I see you guys tomorrow on another episode of Tjibaria's Daily Show. Bye guys! Mwah.